Friends, there is a hidden power that lies within numbers, a silent force that, when rightly understood, can open the door to abundance and prosperity. Every number carries a vibration, a sacred frequency, and when we align ourselves with the vibration of a number that attracts wealth, we step into the flow of life that brings fortune to our door. The universe speaks to us in symbols, and numbers are among the clearest of these divine messages. Just as the sun rises in the east without fail, the energy of abundance responds to those who recognize it, call it forth, and give it a place in their lives. You may wonder how a simple number can carry such power. It is not in the ink or shape that the magic lies, but in the thought, belief, and faith we attach to it. Faith is the great law of life. It is the invisible hand that guides blessings into our experience. When you see a number, do not see it as a mere figure. See it as a doorway, a key, a vibration that resonates with the infinite storehouse of prosperity. When your mind acknowledges that the number carries the energy of wealth, your subconscious begins to work, drawing opportunities, ideas, and channels of income toward you. It is the law of expectation in action. What we hold in mind, the universe brings to manifestation. Many have called certain numbers lucky, yet luck is but the outer expression of inner understanding. There is a science to prosperity, and that science is governed by law, by principle, and by the unerring law of attraction. When you align yourself with a number that attracts wealth, you are not seeking outside miracles, you are acknowledging the omnipresent abundance that is already yours. You are harmonizing with a rhythm of life that never fails, a rhythm that whispers, all things are yours when your mind is attuned. Affirm it, speak it, and see it daily. Let the number become a living symbol of your prosperity consciousness. Each time you write it, think of it, or utter it, let it be accompanied by gratitude, faith, and joyous expectation. For the universe delights in obedience to the law, and your faithful recognition of a number that draws wealth opens unseen doors, attracts the right people, and awakens opportunities that you may not yet have imagined. Understand, too, that a number is not a charm or a talisman. Its power is awakened through your own consciousness. You are the magnet, and the number is the signpost pointing the way. By holding this number in mind, you are declaring your readiness to receive, to prosper, and to live in harmony with the infinite abundance that flows freely to all who are open, trusting, and expectant. Every number, though simple in appearance, is far more than a mere symbol. It carries a vibration, a rhythm, a tone that speaks directly to the universal mind. Numbers are the language of the unseen, the silent messengers of divine order, and they exist not only in mathematics but in the very fabric of life itself. Just as music is composed of vibrations that affect the emotions, so too do numbers emit frequencies that influence the flow of energy in our lives. When we speak of a number that attracts wealth, we are speaking of a number whose vibration resonates with prosperity, abundance, and opportunity. To recognize this is to step into a world where the material and the spiritual are united, where thought, belief, and symbol harmonize to bring about tangible results. Consider for a moment the world around you. Everywhere you look, numbers govern the rhythm of existence. From the rising and setting of the sun to the cycles of the moon, from the heartbeat that sustains life to the tides that sweep across the oceans, numbers are the invisible scaffolding of the universe. They are not mere coincidences, they are expressions of order, patterns that reflect the intelligence of the infinite. When you understand that numbers are more than tools for counting, you begin to see them as living forces, each carrying a signature vibration that can be aligned with intention. Just as a key fits into a lock and opens a door, a number, when recognized for its vibration, can unlock the door to wealth and opportunity. The law governing numbers is the same as the law that governs all creation, the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. Each number contains a particular energy, a spiritual tone, and when your consciousness attunes to that energy, the universe responds accordingly. It is not the mere writing of the number that brings wealth, but the recognition, the feeling, and the understanding that it represents a certain frequency. For example, a number associated with prosperity carries a vibration of growth, expansion, and receptivity. When you dwell upon it, meditate upon it, or allow it to become a symbol of expectation in your daily life, you are calling forth that energy into your world. You are no longer merely existing in a world of chance. You are consciously participating in the orchestration of your own abundance. Vibrations are subtle forces. You may not see them, you may not touch them, but their effects are unmistakable. Just as a tuning fork, when struck, sets into motion a wave that resonates with everything around it, so does a number that carries the vibration of wealth resonate with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. When you become aware of this, you begin to realize that you are surrounded by infinite opportunities. The number is simply the symbol, the pointer, the reminder that abundance is available. Your faith, your attention, and your alignment with this vibration amplify its power. Without recognition and belief, the vibration remains dormant, like a seed lying in the soil, waiting for the warmth of the sun to awaken it. There is a certain magic in this understanding. The world often presents numbers as rigid, cold, and unyielding, but when seen through the lens of consciousness, they are alive, dynamic, and responsive. They respond to thought, to intention, and to expectation. A number that carries the vibration of wealth is not arbitrary. It reflects a principle, a law of prosperity that is as natural as the wind that blows or the river that flows to the sea. The moment you bring your awareness to it, the number begins to interact with your subconscious mind, which is the fertile soil of manifestation. Your subconscious accepts it as true, integrates it, and then begins to shape your circumstances to reflect that truth. It is not mysticism, it is law in action, the law that governs all of creation. When you begin to work consciously with the vibration of numbers, you learn to recognize patterns, synchronicities, and opportunities that previously went unnoticed. A number may appear in a phone number, an address, a date, or a sequence that draws your attention repeatedly. This is the universe signaling, calling you to align with the energy that the number carries. You are being reminded, gently, that abundance is present, that the door is open, and that your thoughts and actions are magnets drawing this prosperity to you. The key is to recognize it, affirm it, and allow it to guide you without fear or doubt. To fully embrace this principle, one must cultivate awareness. Begin to observe numbers not as mere digits, but as living symbols. Notice the frequency of certain numbers in your life, and consider the feelings and circumstances that accompany them. Are they aligned with expansion, opportunity, and prosperity? If so, you have found a number whose vibration resonates with the energy of wealth. Engage with it consciously, write it, speak it, meditate upon it, and allow it to become a part of your daily thought patterns. Each repetition strengthens the vibration, imprints it upon the subconscious mind, and calls forth the energy it represents. In this way, numbers cease to be passive symbols and become active allies in the creation of abundance. The power of numbers is magnified when combined with gratitude and positive expectation. Gratitude is the amplifier of vibration. When you recognize a number as a harbinger of wealth and express joy and appreciation, you are sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. The number then becomes a living emblem, a talisman of energy, not through superstition, but through your own conscious alignment with its vibration. You are participating in the law of attraction without struggle, without effort, and without fear, simply by attuning to the natural harmony that numbers represent. Faith is the unseen force that moves mountains, the silent current that carries our desires from the realm of thought into the realm of manifestation. It is the one principle that holds the key to unlocking the hidden powers within ourselves and the universe. Faith is not a mere wish or hope. It is the unwavering belief that what is desired is already accomplished, that the universe is ready and willing to respond to our clear and confident expectation. In all matters of abundance, wealth, and prosperity, faith is the magnet that draws the invisible into visible reality, the law that activates every opportunity that would otherwise remain hidden or dormant. Many look at faith as something abstract, something reserved for lofty spiritual experiences, yet its operation is practical and precise. Faith is the power that transforms thought into substance, imagination into form, and intention into result. Without faith, the mind is like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly upon the waters of life. With faith, the same mind becomes a compass, a guide, a tool of creation that works in harmony with the divine law. When one aligns faith with a number, a word, or a thought that represents wealth, that alignment becomes irresistible. The universe recognizes the clarity, certainty, and expectancy behind the faith, and responds by bringing forth circumstances, people, and opportunities that match the vibration of that faith. Faith is strengthened by understanding that the universe operates in perfect law and order. Every cause has its effect, every desire its fulfillment when the law is obeyed. To exercise faith is to obey the law consciously, to act in accordance with the principles of abundance, and to hold steadfastly to the belief that what is desired is already present in the invisible realm. Doubt, hesitation, and fear act as resistances that block the flow of wealth. They scatter the energy, dissipate the magnetic power of faith, and delay the fulfillment of our desires. To strengthen faith is to maintain a steady and unwavering focus on the desired outcome, knowing in the innermost part of the heart that the unseen forces are already at work to manifest it. Faith is not passive. It is not waiting idly for something to happen. It is active, vigilant, and dynamic. Faith speaks through words, thoughts, and actions. When you affirm abundance aloud, when you visualize prosperity, when you take steps guided by inspiration and intuition, you are demonstrating faith in action. Each act, each word, each thought becomes a declaration that the desired wealth is real and present. The universe, which responds to the exact nature of our consciousness, receives this declaration and begins to orchestrate the circumstances that bring the invisible into the visible. Faith is thus both the seed and the soil, the cause and the activator, the principle and the law all in one. To cultivate faith, one must first learn to recognize the unseen. The world of substance is only a reflection of the world of cause. Everything we see began as a thought, an intention, or a belief in the invisible realm. Faith allows us to step into that invisible realm consciously, to see with the mind's eye what the outer senses may not yet perceive. Faith is the bridge between the invisible law and visible form, the channel through which divine power flows into our daily experience. By maintaining a clear vision of the desired wealth, by feeling its presence in the heart as though it were already realized, we are exercising faith in its highest and most creative form. Faith is strengthened through repetition, affirmation, and constant expectancy. When a number or symbol is chosen as a focus for prosperity, the mind must be trained to recognize its power through repeated acknowledgement. By daily affirmations, by mental focus, and by the conscious act of holding the desired result as already present, faith becomes second nature. The subconscious mind, which is the laboratory of manifestation, receives this steady instruction and begins to align circumstances accordingly. The world of appearances may still seem to lag behind, yet faith continues undisturbed. It does not rely on immediate evidence, but on the certainty of law, knowing that the visible world must eventually reflect the invisible cause. Faith also requires the courage to trust in the unseen plan, even when appearances suggest scarcity or delay. Many falter in their prosperity because they allow doubt to creep in, because they look at the outer world and see only limitation. Faith, however, does not judge by appearances. It knows that the outer world is but a reflection of inner belief. The more fully one believes in the invisible law of abundance, the more clearly one sees opportunities that others may overlook. The mind becomes a magnet for wealth, guided by inspiration, intuition, and a deep sense of trust. In this way, faith is not blind, it is informed, disciplined, and steady. Faith multiplies through gratitude and joy. When one recognizes the invisible blessings already present, when one gives thanks for the flow of life and the unseen support of the universe, faith is magnified. Gratitude signals to the subconscious mind that abundance is natural, expected, and effortless. Joy acts as an amplifier, increasing the vibration of desire and harmonizing it with the universal law. A heart filled with faith, gratitude, and joy creates an irresistible force that draws wealth and opportunity toward it. It is this combination of belief, expectancy, and joy that turns numbers, symbols, and affirmations into living tools of manifestation. Finally, faith works because it aligns the individual with the divine current of life. The universe is abundant, creative, and endlessly generous. Faith attunes the mind, heart, and spirit to this abundance, allowing it to flow freely without resistance. When faith is present, limitations dissolve, obstacles vanish, and the invisible hand of provision moves unseen, arranging circumstances and guiding events to manifest the wealth that has been consciously imagined and expected. Through faith, the number, the word, or the idea chosen as a focus for prosperity is transformed from a symbol into a living force, an active agent that cooperates with the law to bring the desire into tangible reality. The mind is the creative center of life, the invisible force through which all experiences, circumstances, and conditions are shaped. What we hold in thought, what we believe to be true, and what we expect consciously and subconsciously ultimately manifests in our outer reality. Every situation, every encounter, and every opportunity begins as a seed in the mind, a spark of thought that, when nurtured, grows into tangible form. The mind is the workshop of the spirit, the laboratory of creation, and the key to unlocking wealth and abundance lies in understanding and mastering this extraordinary faculty. When a number, a word, or a symbol is consciously aligned with prosperity, the mind accepts it as a guiding principle, and the invisible forces of the universe begin to orchestrate the conditions necessary for its manifestation. Thought is not idle or accidental. Every thought carries a frequency, a tone, a magnetic force that attracts similar conditions into experience. The subconscious mind, which acts without judgment, records and accepts these thoughts as commands. It does not reason, it does not question, and it does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. When a person repeatedly focuses upon limitation, lack, or fear, the subconscious records these as truths, and the outer world mirrors them faithfully. Conversely, when the mind dwells upon abundance, opportunity, and prosperity, these conditions begin to manifest. The principle is simple, yet its application requires clarity, discipline, and unwavering focus. Visualization is one of the most powerful ways to shape reality through the mind. By seeing in the mind's eye the wealth we desire, we impress the subconscious with a clear image of success and abundance. When combined with faith, expectation, and the conscious use of words, this mental picture becomes a living blueprint for reality. The number that attracts wealth, for instance, when visualized as a symbol of prosperity, becomes a magnet, drawing to the individual all circumstances, people, and opportunities that harmonize with that image. The mind does not differentiate between a physical number and its vibrational significance. It responds to the intent and belief behind it. Every visualization strengthens the energy, focuses attention, and guides the unseen forces to create the desired results. Affirmations are another vital tool in shaping reality. Words are not merely sounds, they are carriers of energy, and when spoken with conviction, they impress the subconscious mind and command the law to respond. Affirming, "I am open to the flow of abundance," or "I attract wealth easily and effortlessly," repeatedly and with feeling, embeds a pattern in the mind that the outer world cannot ignore. The combination of spoken word, mental image, and emotional expectancy activates the creative power of thought, bringing it into harmony with the infinite intelligence of the universe. Each repetition strengthens the signal, aligns the vibration, and attracts the necessary conditions for wealth to manifest. The subconscious mind works continually, even when we are unaware, processing our beliefs, habits, and expectations. If our thoughts are chaotic, uncertain, or negative, the results will be equally scattered. To shape reality consciously, one must maintain a steady, focused, and positive mental attitude. This does not mean ignoring practical steps or worldly effort. It means ensuring that every action, decision, and thought is aligned with the expectation of abundance. The mind becomes a magnet for the things we hold most vividly and consistently. Even when opportunities appear small or improbable, the persistent, focused mind recognizes them, seizes them, and channels them into larger manifestations. Mental imagery, rep. Aided with emotion and belief, creates a blueprint that the law of mind follows precisely. Just as an architect's drawing guides the builders in creating a structure, so too does the mental image guide the invisible forces to construct the circumstances that match it. When a number associated with wealth is chosen as a focus, it becomes a symbol, a visual cue that constantly reminds the mind of abundance. The more frequently it is held in consciousness, the stronger its influence. This is not superstition, but the science of the mind in action. The law of thought is exact, impartial, and constant. Whatever is impressed upon the mind with conviction will manifest in due season. Belief is inseparable from thought. The mind shapes reality most powerfully when belief and thought work together. If the mind holds a vision of wealth but doubts its possibility, the law cannot act fully, for doubt fractures the signal and weakens the vibration. Complete mental alignment, a clear and unwavering conviction that wealth is your natural right and destiny, allows the creative power of thought to operate unimpeded. The mind becomes a lens through which the infinite intelligence of the universe can focus, bringing opportunities, ideas, and resources that correspond to the desired result. Attention is another essential element. The mind shapes reality according to where it places its focus. Repeatedly dwelling upon lack, limitation, or external conditions reinforces those patterns. Conversely, focused attention on prosperity, opportunity, and abundance strengthens the signal and draws conditions that harmonize with that focus. The number, the word, or the symbol chosen as a guide becomes a tool of focus. Every time the mind returns to it with expectation, the magnetic power of thought is increased. The law of mind does not tire, does not question, and does not fail. It moves silently, arranging events, aligning circumstances, and orchestrating conditions that reflect the dominant mental pattern. Faith, imagination, and attention together create the environment in which reality can be shaped. The mind becomes both the laboratory and the architect of life, where invisible patterns take form and become tangible. When consistently directed toward wealth, the mind does not simply hope for results, it creates them. This process requires persistence, repetition, and the recognition that the outer world is a mirror of the inner consciousness. Every opportunity, every person, every event that enters life is a reflection of the mental and emotional state. By shaping thoughts, controlling beliefs, and directing attention, the mind becomes an instrument of infinite creativity, capable of manifesting wealth, abundance, and the conditions that support a prosperous life. To use the mind effectively, one must practice mindfulness, conscious direction, and deliberate creation. Each thought is a command. Each belief is a blueprint. Each mental image is a signal sent into the invisible realm. When the mind is aligned with prosperity, the universe responds with equal precision. The number that attracts wealth, when consistently impressed upon the mind as a symbol of abundance, transforms from a simple figure into a living, creative force. It guides the subconscious, directs the imagination, and focuses the law of mind to bring about the desired outcome. The key that unlocks the door to the infinite storehouse of abundance. It is not a mere courtesy or polite expression. It is a powerful spiritual force that multiplies the blessings already present in life and calls forth greater prosperity. The energy of gratitude aligns the individual with the creative flow of the universe, opening channels that may have been blocked by doubt, fear, or lack of recognition. In all matters of wealth and abundance, the act of giving thanks is a declaration of faith, an acknowledgement that the universe is generous, and that prosperity is not only possible but already present in unseen form. The mind and heart united in gratitude send a magnetic signal that the law of attraction cannot ignore, drawing circumstances, opportunities, and resources into harmony with the vibration of thanksgiving. Many overlook gratitude as a tool for manifestation, yet it is one of the most direct and effective ways to amplify the attraction of wealth. Gratitude is a recognition of the divine order, the understanding that all good flows from an unseen source, and the acknowledgement that every blessing, large or small, is part of the infinite abundance surrounding us. By giving thanks for what is already present, we create a mental and emotional environment in which the law of attraction operates with precision. The mind becomes a receptive channel, the heart a magnet, and the spirit an active participant in the unfolding of prosperity. It is through gratitude that the invisible becomes visible, the abstract becomes concrete, and the flow of abundance becomes uninterrupted. Gratitude works because it shifts attention from lack to fullness. When the mind dwells upon scarcity, limitation, or unmet needs, it reinforces the vibration of poverty. The law of mind is exact. It mirrors the dominant mental state. When we choose instead to focus upon what is already good, what is already abundant, and what is already working, we align ourselves with the law of increase. Gratitude magnifies this alignment, taking the recognition of existing blessings and turning it into a powerful signal that draws even greater prosperity. In this way, the act of giving thanks is not passive. It is a creative force that multiplies the energy of abundance already present in one's life. The practice of gratitude also awakens awareness of opportunities that might otherwise be overlooked. When the mind is attuned to recognizing blessings, it begins to perceive the unseen currents of support and provision. Every chance encounter, every helpful suggestion, and every unexpected favor is recognized as a manifestation of the abundant universe. By acknowledging these gifts with thankfulness, we amplify the vibration, strengthen the law of attraction, and create a cycle of increasing abundance. Gratitude is a conscious act of participation in the unfolding of divine provision, a practice that trains the mind to see life not as a series of random events, but as a tapestry of favor, opportunity, and wealth. Gratitude is most powerful when it is sincere, heartfelt, and expressed consistently. The repeated recognition of even small blessings sends a strong and clear message to the subconscious mind, which is the laboratory of creation. The subconscious cannot distinguish between the magnitude of a blessing. It responds to the pattern of acknowledgement, expectation, and appreciation. By maintaining a daily practice of gratitude, we are continuously programming the mind to focus on abundance, to recognize opportunities, and to receive wealth in its many forms. This creates a fertile inner environment where prosperity can grow and expand without resistance, because the mind and heart are in harmony with the universal law. Gratitude also strengthens faith, the invisible power that draws desire into reality. When we express thanks for what is already present, we are affirming the principle that abundance exists and that the universe is reliable in its provision. This faith enhances our expectation and focus, which in turn magnifies the magnetic attraction of prosperity. By combining gratitude with visualization, affirmation, and deliberate attention, the law of attraction is activated in its highest form. Every expression of thanks becomes a force that moves the invisible energies into visible manifestation, creating opportunities and circumstances that reflect the vibration of appreciation. Furthermore, gratitude transforms perception. It allows us to see wealth not only as material possessions, but as the sum total of all good in our lives. Health, relationships, wisdom, creativity, and opportunity are all aspects of abundance. By giving thanks for these, we expand the consciousness of wealth beyond limitation and recognize the infinite supply already present. This broader awareness strengthens the attraction of prosperity, because the law of mind responds not only to desire but to the fullness of consciousness. The more fully we recognize and appreciate the richness of life, the more the universe responds in kind, multiplying blessings in forms that are both expected and unexpected. The act of gratitude also dissolves resistance. Doubt, worry, and fear are the chief barriers to the flow of wealth. Gratitude, by focusing attention on what is already working and what is already given, neutralizes these negative forces. It shifts consciousness from lack to plenty, from limitation to possibility, and from anxiety to trust. This shift creates an environment where the magnetic power of the mind can operate unimpeded, drawing wealth, opportunity, and favorable circumstances with ease and precision. The more one practices gratitude, the more effortless the flow of prosperity becomes, because the mind is tuned to receive and the heart is open to the infinite supply of the universe. Gratitude also multiplies the power of numbers, words, and symbols used in manifestation. When a number is chosen as a focus for wealth, expressing thanks for its presence and significance enhances its vibrational influence. The combination of conscious recognition, appreciation, and joyful expectancy transforms the number from a mere figure into a living magnet for abundance. Each acknowledgement strengthens the signal, directs the law of mind, and draws into experience the resources, people, and opportunities aligned with prosperity. Gratitude is thus both the fuel and the amplifier, taking the simple act of recognition and transforming it into a potent creative force. The practice of gratitude becomes a daily habit, a mental discipline, and a spiritual principle. By cultivating this awareness, one begins to experience life as a continuous flow of blessings, opportunities, and abundance. The mind, now trained to see and recognize the good, becomes a conduit for the law of attraction. The heart, filled with appreciation, becomes a magnet for prosperity. The universe, responding to the vibration of thanksgiving, orchestrates circumstances in perfect harmony with the desire, creating a life rich not only in material wealth, but in joy, opportunity, and spiritual fulfillment. Many people search for shortcuts, charms, or talismans to attract wealth, believing that luck or coincidence can be harnessed to create prosperity. Yet true abundance is never the result of superstition, ritual, or chance. It arises from conscious alignment with the universal laws, a deliberate attunement of thought, feeling, and action to the infinite source of supply. Superstitions are empty. Unless backed by understanding, focus, and faith, they carry no power of their own. The power lies in the consciousness that recognizes, affirms, and expects the manifestation of wealth. It is through conscious alignment, not blind reliance, that a number, a word, or a symbol becomes a living magnet for prosperity, capable of drawing the unseen into visible form. Conscious alignment begins with awareness of the law. The universe operates according to precise principles, impartial and unerring. Every thought, every belief, and every emotion sends forth a signal, a vibration, that is reflected in the outer world. Superstition, on the other hand, attempts to manipulate outcomes without understanding the underlying cause. It relies on luck or fear rather than principle. True abundance requires the mind and heart to be in harmony with law, not merely hoping for favorable conditions. When the individual recognizes that wealth flows from alignment with divine order, they no longer look outside for miracles, for the creative power is always within. Alignment requires clarity of intention. To attract wealth, the mind must be focused on abundance, growth, and opportunity. This focus is not an empty wish, it is a deliberate mental and spiritual posture. The number, symbol, or word chosen as a point of attention functions as a reminder and a guide, but its efficacy comes entirely from the consciousness behind it. By keeping the mind attuned to prosperity, expecting the unseen forces to respond, and acting in harmony with inspiration, the individual activates the law of attraction in precise and effective ways. Conscious alignment is therefore both practical and spiritual, a combination of clear vision, unwavering faith, and consistent action. The power of conscious alignment is reinforced by understanding the role of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the fertile soil in which thoughts grow, and it responds to the signals impressed upon it by conscious awareness. Superstition attempts to manipulate outcomes without engaging this creative faculty, often relying on chance or symbolic gestures. Alignment, by contrast, intentionally programs the subconscious with clear patterns of expectation. By repeating affirmations, visualizing prosperity, and holding faith in the unseen, the individual impresses upon the subconscious mind the exact conditions desired. The law works silently and impartially, orchestrating circumstances that match the vibration consistently maintained in consciousness. Conscious alignment also requires the elimination of doubt and fear. When attention is divided, when belief wavers, or when fear is entertained, the signal becomes weak, and the law cannot operate with precision. Superstition may offer a temporary sense of hope, but it cannot sustain the magnetic power of consistent expectation. Alignment demands mental discipline, emotional steadiness, and a clear vision of abundance. It is a process of harmonizing the inner world with the principles of prosperity, understanding that the outer world is a mirror of this inner state. Every thought, feeling, and action becomes a deliberate part of the creative pattern. Action inspired by conscious alignment is another vital aspect. While faith, thought, and visualization are powerful, They are most effective when accompanied by inspired steps. These actions are guided by intuition, insight, and the opportunities that present themselves in response to the vibrational signal of the mind. Superstition often leads to passive waiting or arbitrary practices, but alignment encourages active cooperation with the law. The number chosen as a focus becomes a practical tool when combined with action. Each step taken in harmony with expectation and belief accelerates the manifestation of wealth, directing the invisible forces into tangible results. Gratitude and joy further enhance conscious alignment. By expressing thanks for the unseen abundance and rejoicing in the flow of prosperity, the individual strengthens the vibration of attraction. Superstition, relying on fear or ritual, cannot amplify energy in this way. Conscious alignment, on the other hand, unites thought, feeling, and action in a coherent signal that the universe responds to immediately. The number, symbol, or word becomes not an external charm, but an extension of consciousness, a reminder to maintain focus, expectation, and joy. Through this harmony, the law operates with precision, drawing wealth and opportunity effortlessly. Conscious alignment also fosters resilience. In the face of challenges, the aligned mind recognizes that obstacles are temporary, that outer appearances do not define reality, and that the law of mind is always operating to bring the desired result. Superstition reacts to circumstances with fear or uncertainty, whereas alignment maintains faith and focus, allowing the law to work unimpeded. By remaining steady, patient, and expectant, the individual sustains the magnetic field of attraction, ensuring that wealth and prosperity continue to flow. Education of the mind is essential for conscious alignment. Understanding that numbers, words, and symbols work only as expressions of consciousness allows one to employ them intelligently. They are tools, not magic. The number that attracts wealth functions because the mind recognizes it as a symbol of expectation, prosperity, and alignment with law. When understood in this way, the individual moves from passive hope to active creation, from superstition to mastery, and Ram chance to deliberate manifestation. Conscious alignment thus elevates the practice of prosperity from randomness to a spiritual art guided by principle. In conscious alignment, every thought, emotion, and act is deliberate and purposeful. Each choice, each acknowledgement, each affirmation is a thread in the tapestry of manifestation. The mind, aligned with law, becomes a magnet, attracting circumstances, people, and opportunities that correspond to the vibration maintained. Superstition, by contrast, attempts to invoke outcomes without internal coherence. Alignment requires total harmony between inner belief and outer expectation, between faith and action, between joy and gratitude. When this harmony is maintained, the law works with infallible accuracy, transforming the chosen number, word, or symbol into a living instrument of creation. Finally, conscious alignment elevates the individual to co-creator with the universe. By understanding and applying the principles of prosperity, by maintaining focus, faith, and gratitude, one moves beyond superstition and chance into deliberate mastery of life's opportunities. The number becomes a tool, the law becomes a guide, and the mind, heart, and spirit become instruments of infinite creative power. Through conscious alignment, abundance is not only expected, but inevitable, flowing effortlessly to those who recognize, affirm, and harmonize with the divine law.